Finally, grant disbursement has been set, and this is not the first time of us hear this information or getting information like this. But we just have to keep hope alive and see if it's going to happen. Let's keep hope alive, and I think the authority should do what they need to do so that those who subscribe should get what they subscribe for. Like I always said, information is key, so you need to subscribe for this to this channel so that you don't miss any information that is vital. And at the same time, I need you to share this video on social media platform for other people to also see it. Appreciate you guys, and see you in my next post. Bye for now.
I like to go by the agenda so that I'll be a bit guided, and then before maybe I say some things. The first thing on the agenda is masses. What do we want at this critical time? Immediate disbursement or another delay? Now, why I wrote this was because we have a situation right now where I could say that um, we are, I do not think, as a person right now, from all indication, I do not think there is much left anymore. I don't see anything left that would not allow disbursement to commence any moment from now. After all, how many weeks now? Maybe they have been saying that it can happen anytime from now. But what made me to further ask that question, if we want disbursement immediate or we want another delay, is because I've also tried to monitor some milestones actually being accomplished, some things that they needed to do in actual facts, and I can see that some of those things, in fact, for me, they have done what necessarily should be done for disbursement to commence. So I do not expect any excuse from any quarters at this point as a person based on what I am aware of. So just because I am not the one to do the disbursement, I cannot say. Now, let me finish the point before I explain any further about it. Now, I asked whether we want it now because if they are done, that means we should expect immediate disbursements. I mean, we should expect disbursements without any further delay. Now the other option why I asked whether we want delayed stuff is the way things have been moving now. Let me just begin to put it in so that I've been writing about it. Is that the government committee has been working with Pastor John, Pastor Mupitong, and Comrade Abdul, and so far they have gotten to where we are right now. So any adjustment to this arrangement to me would seem as a delay, maybe bringing back, as we had the whole of yesterday fighting between the two sides of UAG and AGPGN, trying to bring UAG back into it and things like that, or maybe Apostle Kane. For me, I would only see it as a delay, nothing more. So the best thing is we just allow it to flow the way it has been flowing. Yes, mistakes have been made, some of them grave errors, but we have. I speak that as an observer, but I can't speak that as one of them. But maybe from what I'm also observing, I'm not. Please don't misinterpret me. I am not representing either side. I am saying that the choice of who government committee wanted to work with wasn't my choice. Okay, and also maybe not the choice of AGPGN. Okay, but circumstances played themselves into where we are today, whereby even as you heard from Apostle Ken yesterday, his side is being dropped, and so we have a side that government is working with. Whether the amounts are large or whatever will be brought is another question. But the reason why I asked the question or saying whether we want immediate disbursement or delay was that if we allow the present structure to be upset, all right, we would have delays. If anything, like yesterday now, they came up and then they were arguing amongst themselves. You could see AGPGN side fire at UAG fired back and things like that. If from what we know is that some people want to be included. I am saying that if you allow them to be included right now and the thing does not continue the way it's been continuing, then it will bring delay to this process. The issue of petition and all of that, nobody should write petition at this time. It's not worth it. It is only going to set us backward. However, to an extent, it may not still set us backward. It may not still set us backward. So I want us to be on the same page with that this is not my doing. I'm not taking sides. I'm only saying that what we have come to see is that government is working with Pastor John, Pastor Amopitong, and Comrade Abdul. And let's just allow that to go ahead so that we can have speedy disbursement. Any disturbances or allowing upsets in that balance right now will bring delay. That is why I asked that question. All right, I'm done with that point. Number one, and let me go to point number two. We need to now deal with the issues and not sentiments. Now, where we are right now, with a lot of things being thrown around yesterday, back and forth, meetings here and there, it's obvious that we need to know what the issues are and what sentiments are, and we just leave the sentiments and just face what is before us. Okay, what is before us is disbursement. That is what we want at this point. Any maybe let us see if we can change the amount to be paid, blah blah, is just extra days of delay. Question is, whatever they have made up their minds to bring to the table, let them bring it. Enough is enough. We cannot accept any further delay to this. Let them disburse and things like that. So therefore, this is why I said we have to separate issues from sentiments. Sentiments of which side you belong. We need to drop all of that right now. We just focus on the disbursement, and I've already said the side that government is working with, let them just go ahead and perfect everything that is left to be done, if there is any, which I don't think there is anything except maybe going to have a meeting to execute and start this thing. I don't think there is anything that they need to do again and again to see what should be done. I think most things have been done and perfected. Therefore, we can now move forward, and we will now have to hold these people accountable if we didn't see disbursement anytime from now. Because as far as I said, I am concerned, like I said, I believe there is nothing at this point holding this disbursement. If we see any excuses, we really have to find out why such excuses. And to be candid, I don't think we, the masses, will be ready for any further excuses hereafter, because we believe that most things have been done. With the confessions coming out, you could see write-ups and all of that, from either side of the divide, everybody calling for calm and things like that. So it means nothing should be an excuse any further. The only thing I can say is this: let it not be that we come to social media and say, let everywhere be peaceful, but behind the scene, we are fighting. I'm talking about AGPGN or the UAAG side now. Because what we've observed for the past 1 week or two is that when one strategy fails, because we really saw the UAG's foot soldiers come on board, fight back seriously. Now, when one strategy fails, they bring out another one. When one strategy fails, they bring out the other one. So, in spite of the fact that we could hear Apostle Ken last Sunday, I think that was last week Sunday, who came out and said he sues for peace. He's not looking for any. He himself is not attending any meeting. You understand? But the following day, Wahala broke out, in the grand community from their side again. So it's more of like you use the social media to speak nicely, but you go behind the scene and still be fighting. We use this meeting and this platform to say enough is actually enough. If you're not fighting in social media, don't also fight behind the scene. If you're actually fighting, come out, let us know exactly what the problem is. But for now, we know that government has chosen a certain direction they're going, and there is not much we can do about it. That is the situation. How did we come? I think that will lead me to the next point now. The issue of government committee and how we got here. All right, the facts about it. How did we even get to government committee? However, anyway, anything that government has to do, there has to be a committee overseeing that. Okay, most especially being that this is a non-governmental thing, there has to be a government committee to oversee. If we were able to do it by ourselves, I don't think there was going to be need for government committee. But you see, we were not able to do it by ourselves. We fought and fought and fought. And for me, till tomorrow, if you remove government out of this thing and you leave AGPGN and UAAG to continue to negotiate to see if they can reach a common, I do not see any possibility of arriving at a solution. We will fight till Jesus returns. That is nothing but the truth. Because you do not see both sides agree. So if for me, it's even a plus that government came in to like, okay, where do we go? How do we move? Definitely, when you wash your dirty linens in the public, it is left for those that are seeing you to judge who to work with and who is better and who is not good enough. All right, that doesn't mean that, nobody's perfect. Are we together? There is nobody that is perfect. That is what I mean to say. But if two of us are fighting and we always say all the things that we did in the secret publicly, you will draw attention. The person that is observing you will know who is actually wrong and who is not wrong. Do you understand me? Or who is better off. And this is where we found ourselves. The fight between AGPGN and UAG and all of that, those that are involved, fighting for endless fights. So now, if government wants to step in to do something, they will have a direction. It's either they throw the two of them away, pick up something fresh, or they choose one side to work with. So we found ourselves in this place because no side agreed to a common terms of reference, issue of greed and exchanges of a lot of brought about where we are right now. So whatever finally would come, let us accept it and go our way, period. That is how I can put it, because we have allowed the fights, we've washed our dirty linen in the public, and then we have left the judgment for passerbys to do what, to interpret who we are, and that's it, the way we are. So we found ourselves here. That's how government committee came in. They have decided these are obvious facts, and guess what, government knows, or you see, the truth is, government is not really stupid. Do you understand me? They will be observing and all of that. So, well, let's cut all that short. Yesterday, in the meeting between AKN and the CEOs, of course, he came to point that he's actually been removed. Do you understand me? UAG is out of this game. So, question is now that to those that this thing belongs to right now, they should go ahead and then try to fix it and get this thing going, because we don't need any excuse again. Therefore, with that, I can now say that with UAAG not being directly involved again now, with AKN being set aside, let AGPGN or the few, those people working with government committee proceed immediately, because they cannot give us excuse again that it is one apostle or UAG that is giving them problem. And that is why also I would still reiterate that UAG or anyone fighting should not say he's calling for peace in public, but behind the scene is still fighting. So we don't want to see, because we've had such media resolution mentioned before. They say they have settled, they say they have settled. Next thing, you see one write-up from one group, from one side, coming to public space. You just know that they are still fighting. We don't want to see such things tomorrow. As tomorrow begins now, we want the AGPGN people that are working with government committee go ahead and give us quick disbursement. Period. We will not, then any other person, UAG side should lay down their arms like they are calling for and should not fight, be it on social media or behind the scene. What we want to begin to see from tomorrow is result, things that make us know that this thing will be done and all of that. We expect that this month shouldn't pass. I mean, it's our expectation. We have the right, or right is our right to decide when and think we don't want this month to pass. We will need, disbursement. Let me proceed to the next point and all of that. The issue of which side, okay, government is working with this, I have said. They have chosen which side. They're working with Pastor John, Pastor Amopichong, and Comrade Abdul, and all of that. And then the issue of taking sides. Really, nobody should take sides at this point. Just take side with the government that is working with the people. That's how I would say it. What I mean is that encourage them to go ahead and do what? And disburse. That is where the thing is. We don't need to start fighting amongst ourselves, start fighting again about AGPG and UAAG and all of that. No, let's just focus on the committee and the people the committee is working with. That is just the side we just have to focus on, period. So it's not about taking sides and belonging to, in that represents our interest as masses, because it has to do with disbursements, and that's the interest of all of us. So if we support that side and then encourage them to go ahead and do the disbursement, that means we are favoring our own cause, because that is what it is exactly. All right, the issue of palliative or grant, I do not believe as a person it is palliative, because why I said I don't believe it's palliative, even if it is small, for whatever reason, we didn't go for palliative, and we cannot be getting palliative now. I've heard of things like projects is inside and all of that, and then this other cash side, and we have heard arguments like government is doing focusing on the project or something and all of that, and so maybe they want to keep more money to do projects and then give out this other side, this other part for the people to have something. So because we need CBN to disburse this money, we cannot decide the finality of how everything goes. Government will look at the economic situation and tell us whatever they believe in. I'm not saying they're correct or they are wrong. I am only saying that issue of grants or palliative, this is grants. I don't think government would ever project in palliative. I don't see project in palliative, but this has a project component, which is going to definitely be grants they are giving out, whatever that amount is. As I tell you right now, I don't know, even if I knew, I may not say it, because maybe it's not allowed to be said. So, but all I can know is what has been done. For us to know whether we are close to disbursement or not is to look at the milestones, the certain things they needed to do, which I have seen some things have been done, or in fact, to me, there is nothing left to be done, and so disbursement should commence immediately, period. And that is how I would like to approach that. But I know it is grant and not palliative. That is what I know. The amount I don't know. Whatever they will bring, we accept it in good faith and move forward with our lives. I believe there will always be better opportunities. All right. The issue of who is to disburse, let's leave that. Like I said, let's just talk about the people that are working with the government committee. Let them just proceed and give us what disbursement. Looking for who will come and disburse now is only going to be more delay. Let's go and bring one person from the other place to come and do this. But at this dying minute, no, nobody needs any changes right now. The people that have been working, let them proceed and don't give us excuses again. Let them go ahead and do the disbursement. That is our stand on this matter. The uproar between that's the next on the agenda. Uproar between AGPGN and UAAG. Is any side afraid of something? to an extent, at least from my observation, to an extent, I believe there's something the UAG side was afraid of, all right, that brought about this thing. And I think to an extent, they did not have direct access as they used to have before. So there was a reason to be afraid of, or to, to want to know what is going on and what is not going on. And they didn't really have that information available at their disposal as they used to have, since Apostle Cain has been set on the side, and so some things were not communicating or communicated any longer as it used to be. So they felt like they were left out of information they needed to know. But what I can say is that there had been some changes, all right, even having to do with the committee, and then probably a new direction as to how things should be done and all of that. And so far, I believe we are very close to disbursement, and so that is what we should be focused on right now, to ask, for that disbursement to happen anytime beginning now. We don't want any excuse anymore. And now we say, even if there was fight or something to fear, the obvious is the obvious. What will come will come. So whichever side feels cheated, well, that is the situation we found ourselves. All what we need to do at this point is get our disbursement. They had all the time, they would have sorted themselves out. If at this time they did not sort themselves out, let the committee go ahead with what needs to be done, and that is nothing but disbursement, and do the disbursement. We are tired of waiting for either side of the divide, and we don't want to really belong to their issues. If they used to eat together before and now they are not eating again, it shouldn't be any of our business. Let the committee, with the people that have chosen to work with, progress or proceed with the disbursement. This is how I would like to, talk about that one. Now, yes, that still leads me to the last point on that agenda. We now plead as a people with the government committee and Pastor Felix, Pastor John, and Ambassador Comrade Abdul, please proceed with immediate disbursement of this money. All the people you mentioned and talked about that were your enemies, yesterday, most of them confessed. Today, I've seen a write-up from Power 5 backing down, and everybody is like surrendering from one corner or the other. And I hope it's true surrendering, all right, or true surrender. So right now, from if we take all those write-ups and voice notes that we've seen out there as being valid, okay, as being what they can defend, the writers and those who made the voice notes, if they can defend them, then it means that AGPGN and the people that government committee is working with don't have any other excuse about who is blocking or who attempts to block. We can only say that those that may have been interested in writing petitions should not at this point, so that we just avoid all things, all issues, all things that may bring up any distraction right now is not needed. We just have to give the system a small test and see if we cannot get something done this week. Then we can now say, wow, we think we have tried. Then we ourselves to now say, okay, let us make moves and know what next to be done or take the necessary action. I know we have talked about protests. I know we've talked about press conference. We've talked about quite some things. So there's even a plan B and things like that. But going by the fact that some milestones have been accomplished, some things I can say they have done and have confirmed certain things have been done, which are my indicators as to how ready things may be. But since I'm not the one to do the disbursement, I may just say that I haven't seen anything left again to be done other than what? Disbursement. So we expect nothing else or less than disbursement any moment from now, and this should be our expectation throughout this week. Hopefully that before this month still runs out, our expectation is that they should find a way and disburse that money, because we do not see any stumbling block. We plead with government and the federal government of this country, for the sake of the dying masses. Nigerians are going through a lot of hardship now, and we believe that this hardship is avoidable, is completely avoidable, and that you should show us concern as a government whose primary responsibility is welfare by the Constitution of this Federal Republic. So please pay attention to this and hurriedly, ensure that the masses get disbursement of this money. We are tired of the wait. It's been a long protocol of processes and things that are done, and at this point, from all indication, all T's have been crossed, all I's have been dotted. So we don't see any further reason to have a delay anymore. So please, we plead with government. We Nigerians generally assume that you don't care about us. But please, convince us that that is not true by proceeding to do the needful earliest, any time from now, because we know you have what it takes to do it, be it human resources, financial technology, or technological resource. Also, you have it. So please proceed and do it. Abdul, Felix, and John, do everything you can. Masses are not smiling. Nobody's happy with the situation of things now. We are tired. We are tired. And we say, ignore everything you have to ignore and help and ensure disbursement commences immediately. No further excuse. Normally, what we observe is that every Monday is as if there was nothing done at all. They have to start fresh talks. They have to have fresh meetings. They have to, and that's why I'm always scared of the week finishing without a disbursement, because the next week is going to be as if we start afresh. Please, let all things be set down for disbursement to masses. This is how far I'd like to go at this point, and I would like to, hold pause here, open the floor, and ask for anyone that wants to contribute something to this. All I can say is, ask government committee and the people that have been working with in all grant pressure group to proceed with disbursement. That is all you just need to say. All right. One of the ways of solving a problem is by removing all the collect like terms. You understand me? Take away all the things that are not necessary in the equation and just bring only the like terms so that you can hit the solution faster. So we have seen that with all the voice notes flying around and meetings yesterday, surrenderings and things like that, everybody calling for peace. So now we believe the coast is clear for disbursement to happen, and we want to see nothing else but disbursement any moment from now. So please, what you need to do is, I've tried to clear all the air for you to see the direction that we need to call on government committee and then the people they are working with to proceed with the disbursement. That's all I'm saying, so that you don't need to talk much. We're not arguing here, no taking of sides. There already had been a direction of how things should go, and that is the direction. I say, okay, let them proceed now. We don't want stories any further. All right, thank you very much. Please, if you want to have to say something, please show by a lift of hand, and then we will give you the floor to speak.